Hey, everybody. I am so glad to be back. This is cool as hell. Welcome to OpinioNate. I am your host, Nate Lee, and been on hiatus. Been trying to get a restaurant here in Humboldt off the ground. I can proudly say that I finally achieved that. It's doing quite well, and just needed some time to focus my energies on that project while still running the notary on 19th Street, ADL Tag and Notary, and which is doing very well in spite of what you might see or hear on the street or on social media by my haters. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about those idiots because I don't devote any time to them. I live rent-free in their heads, and that's their problem, not mine. Paulie Delafucto is a moron. Still showing up at meetings he has no business being at, and same with Ricky Jerkoff DeLuca and his stupid wife, who I call 310, which is the amount of votes she got in the last election that she fought so hard for. I'm surprised she got 310, actually. I was thinking more like 200. But anyway, so I'm not going to devote a whole lot of time to them. They moved away. I don't understand why they still are in Hazleton's business, probably because they got nothing better to do, these idiots. Delafucto went in partnerships with Fatty, and which is a great combination, man. I mean, those two, that was really great news for me to hear that those two stupid people are in business together. I wanted to say that, you know, that you can tell when a person is not, doesn't have any integrity when they have any of their social media pages representing their businesses. You are not able to write a review or a comment. So if you look up those idiots, neither one of those two things you can do for their businesses. I think that idiot owns a business called Pocono Pro or something. I don't know what he's scamming people for now. I heard that he took a bunch of money from somebody that he was supposed to build their house, and he never even did anything. So they're investigating that. I guess there's some judge in Scranton that I know there was a warrant out for. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to devote a whole lot of time. I could go on for a whole hour about those idiots, but I will not do it. All I can say to you is, I do want to mention that PA arrest warrants page. That is run by Delafucto. So when you see stuff about me on there, which is total bullshit, I saw somebody sent me something. I ask my friends not even to send me the stuff because I don't devote any time to it. I really don't. But sometimes somebody that I hadn't told that to sends me something. Somebody sent me something this morning, and it said that I completed my community service. I have never done community service. Actually, I do community service all the time. Unlike them, it's not court mandated. Okay, that's the difference between my community service and theirs. So with that, if you'd like to go visit that page, you're welcome to do it. It's nothing but a crock of bullshit. It accuses everybody and anybody of all kinds of things. These people are determined to ruin people's lives because they are miserable themselves, and they just, misery loves company. It sounds perfect. It's a perfect saying for them idiots. That's all I'm going to say about them. I would love for her to run for something, though, again, because I had a ball. I know y'all did, too, because I still meet up with people on the street that loved the stuff that we did with that moron. So, that all being said, let's talk about Charlie Kirk. I made some waves, of course, was what I do. A couple of weeks ago, first, by saying we are Charlie Kirk. Kind of a week or two after that happened. I am someone who had been watching Charlie for 10 years. I don't think I understood the impact that he had until he died, but I have been following him for 10 years, and I'll tell you why. The night that Trump won the election, he thanked a few people, and one of them was Charlie Kirk. And I'm talking about the first time. I knew who he was. I had seen a couple of things, but from that time on, I have been watching Charlie Kirk. Did I agree with everything that he said? Absolutely not. First of all, I'm not a holy guy. So the church thing was a little bit much for me. Do I believe in God? Absolutely. Um, do I believe in the same God as him? Probably not. I absolutely believe that there's a higher power and there's something that put this whole thing together. It wasn't just, scientific mumbo jumbo. I think that there's something. Um, I have the total respect for people who do have that faith. Actually, for anybody who has faith, if it accomplishes something for you, then it's a beautiful thing. For whatever reason, if you're ill, if you have lost someone, if you have things in your life, and that gives you comfort and aid, 100%, I'm with you. I'll never knock you for having it. I'll never make fun of you for having it. I think it's a beautiful thing. I am just not that person. I was born and raised a Catholic. I do not consider myself to be a Catholic today. Do I put it down? Absolutely not. I wouldn't dare. But it's not for me. As far as the other stuff that he talked about and believed in and professed about, the transgender thing, agreed with him 100%. Do I feel sorry for those folks? Absolutely, because with any kind of illness, I would feel sorry. If you're 10 years old and you think that you are a different sex than you are a different gender, however they want to say it, then your parents should get you help because that is mental. If you are a parent and think that your child is something other than what they are, then you belong in jail if you do anything about it. You need mental health for sure. I have seen things where a woman has said that she was carrying a transgender child. She should be in jail. That's where they should put her. She shouldn't be even allowed to have children. She is starting out that child's life as an abuser. Okay. I have seen people say that their dog is transgender. You have a mental disease if you think that. Okay. I have gay in my family. I am not homophobic by any stretch of the imagination. I have been married twice and I have been with quite a few women. I understand gay, actually. It might be easier to be with somebody of the same sex. I don't know. Maybe understand them. I don't know. But I am not homophobic. I have, like I said, I have gay in my family very close to me, and I adore them. I would never be against that. If you want to do something that doesn't hurt other people and live your life that way, it's none of my business. It really is not. Are trans people my business? I think it kind of is. You are screwing with society when you do stuff like that. I think even the gay folks understand that if it wasn't for straight people, they wouldn't be here. So, take that for whatever it's worth. I wanted to say that people were not necessarily afraid of what Charlie Kirk said. What they were afraid of mostly was that he was moving people with what he said. They were listening to Charlie. He was changing minds, not everyone's, but he was changing minds. A lot of folks don't know that the guy who they say shot him, he actually got into it with a conversation with previous to that. And it was one of the only times that I ever saw Charlie be kind of ugly to somebody. And I have to say that I was a little bit taken aback and surprised by it. But when you invite people to have a conversation and you're open to that, you're open to what they have to say, but you want to, I don't know, change their minds or, move them. Sometimes it just gets ugly. And that was one of the times when I saw him, tell the person he was an idiot or something. I can't remember what it was, but remember when you're hearing about Charlie and you are, and people are, saying things that he said, you should go and look at the whole context of everything that he said, because, he made a comment about the black pilot. Some lady went off on me the other day because on his birthday on October 14th, I bought shirts for everyone that is affiliated with our companies, and that's 12, by the way. And they all wore "We Are Charlie" red shirts that day. And somebody came in the restaurant, and they said, we're not coming here anymore. I said, well, that's up to you. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I really am. I understand even that, because I won't see a Robert De Niro movie because he's such a fucking goof. So I get it. If that's your defense for not liking or feeling differently about the way somebody feels, it's really the only thing you've got with your pocketbook. I get it. I felt like A, I didn't give a shit. And B, there are more of us than there are of them. The last election proved that. People say, oh, you want to give up 50% of your potential market. I guess. I have no defense for that. I guess I do. I guess I just don't give a shit. I would rather have the people that align with my thinking, A, or B, are understanding enough to not give a shit. There was a guy that wrote on there, he said, look, he's got a great product for a great price. I don't really care how he feels about Charlie Kirk. That's the guy, right? So there's that. What they did was they poked a bear, to use an old term, and there's no way to put that bear back in hibernation, man. What these people are understanding is that the TPUSA, Turning Point USA group, is going to be the largest voting bloc in the country, other than white folks. Okay, white folks are now the biggest and always have been. And then you have your minorities, and you have your black vote, and your Hispanic vote, and your, Latino vote, I should say. The LGBTQRSTUVW group, whatever the fuck they call that. And so you have all these groups of voting blocks. And what they have done is unleash the 18 to 25-year-olds, and now then their parents, but most importantly, then their children. So what you had was schools, right from kindergarten through college, indoctrinating your kids and people to liberalism. And then when they had children, that's what they brought them up that way. Well, now that tide is going to turn. And I'm not thinking that. I'm knowing that, okay? You have an amount of people now in this country that are conservatives that maybe were not raised that way and definitely didn't get that in school. And now they are switching, and they are going to vote. These folks are going to vote because they are so passionate about it. You have more people going to church since Charlie Kirk died than probably in the last 25 years. So people are finding Christ. Nothing wrong with that. Listen, if you live your life according to that, you'll do great. Okay? Like I said, I don't, but I understand that the Bible's a great thing. Do I believe it? No. Most of it I do not. Do I believe Christ existed? Absolutely. But I don't know that he was the Son of God. That's me talking. I don't know that 100%, right? You have faith that it does. That's great. I love you for it. That's great. I don't have that kind of faith. But I think it's a beautiful thing. I have read actually a lot of the Bible, and that is one of those things that is open for interpretation as well. Just like our Constitution, you can read the same things that I do and get something different out of it than I did. But I think it's a beautiful thing. If you can live your life according to most of that, you're going to be a beautiful person. So that is the issue with Charlie Kirk. They are not afraid. Are not afraid of Charlie Kirk and what's going to happen there. They are afraid of what that voting block, right? So if you are a liberal and you are fighting for a woman's right to choose and to transgender thing and all this woke nonsense that was before Trump, I call it BT, before Trump, then you now know that that's over. That's over, and it's going to be over. If your hope was, well, in 3 years, I know 3 years is a long time, isn't it? Yes. 3 years, you have another shot to get somebody in that's going to correct things your way. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. I will retire and sell my businesses if next year in the midterms we swap things around with the House and the Senate. It's just not going to happen. You are going to have more 18-year-olds, 18 to 25-year-olds going out and voting than you have ever seen before. This redistricting, it is going to mean a lot. I read yesterday that it could be up to 50 seats that they're going to redistrict. And they did it because they pissed people off. They pissed off the Republicans by doing it themselves. You can't, you know what the word hypocrite means, right? This is who these people are. Most of the time, actually, back to the DeLucas, it's back to them. They're accusing people of doing what they're doing or what they've done. So, I love those things on Facebook when they go and they show Obama talking about illegal immigration or Hillary Clinton talking about illegal immigration. I mean, they were as enthusiastic about it as Trump is. They just didn't do anything about it. Okay. Now, what the issue is they understand that without those people and the possibility for them to vote, they have nothing. There's not going to be anything left. I don't know how many people Trump has gotten out of the country so far, but I know it's a shitload. And they arrested a policeman today in Illinois that was an illegal immigrant, overstayed his visa by like 10 years. And it is against every law on the books, local, state, and federal, for an illegal immigrant to be in possession of a gun. These idiots in Illinois hired an illegal immigrant to be a policeman. I believe they said last year he made $200,000. I saw this on TV. This wasn't bullshit where somebody just called me up and said, hey, this was on TV. Wow. Okay. The mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois. If you are hired to represent all these people, one of the things that you're sworn to do is safety. What does it say on the side of a police car? To serve and to protect. Yeah. So these folks are supposed to be serving and protecting, right? How could you say no to somebody that wants to help you do that when it is obvious to 95% of those people that you are representing need that? I don't get it. I don't understand how you can be on TV and say that. I sometimes I just sit there and wonder, do they really believe this shit? Or is it just, I want to know their end game. Their constituents are begging for help. These people are afraid to go outside. There are more people killed in Chicago, like in a week, than die in war. Sometimes it baffles me. It blows my mind. I can't believe it, and I know it does the same thing to other people. When I am out on the street, I wanted to say too, while we're on that thing, that there is absolutely just two genders. There's male and female. If you're not sure which one you are, unzip your pants and take a look. You'll know, just like that. You'll know. Okay. So I think that's enough about Charlie. Love Charlie. Love Charlie. I love the whole movement. I love what it's creating. Like I said, you don't have to agree with somebody 100%. Look, If we were looking for 100% agreement in everything that we do, nobody would be married and nobody would have any friends. Okay? You have to accept people and their differences, or you won't have anybody in your life. And lonely is a rough place. And that's unfortunately where a lot of the people, the haters, are. They are clinging to anything that gives them something social in their life. So if they're out there protesting, they're there for one of two reasons. Number one, to be with other people because they have no other ways of doing that. And number two, they're getting paid. So it could be either one or both. If you want an example of that, look what just happened in Hamas. I mean, I don't know that this whole thing is going to hold because it's looking a little shaky right now. I think Trump's going to probably just go in and blow the whole fuckers all up. He's just going to blow them up, which I'm all for. I've always said just kill every one of them, and even their dogs and their kids and their everybody. You're going to have to do it because these people are spoon-fed to hate us since birth. There's no way you can't negotiate with these people. Everybody else said, well, Trump they're not screwing around. They saw what he did in Iran, and they're not going to screw. These people are either going to all die or they're going to succumb. They're going to go along. I guess that's it. I don't really know where I was going with that. But anyway, let's get away from that. When I'm out on the street, people are always asking me about the Hazleton Area School Board because I had made some comments that I was going to do some investigating and see what I could find out about these folks. These folks belong in prison. That's where they belong. If you have been on the school board well, it doesn't even matter because you have Jimmy Chapman, who, ironically enough, asked me to support him a month or two before the election. And I think I might have said yes. I didn't understand that he was a school teacher. First of all, if you were a school teacher, it should be against the law for you to be on the school board. You now have got the fox in charge of the hen house. Okay. We have not had a teacher strike in Hazleton since I've been home, and that's 24 years. And I don't know how long before that. And the reason is because they don't need to strike. They get every fucking thing that they want and ask for. This board is unchecked. They spend money like it's nobody's business. You know why? Because it is nobody's business. Don't nobody know what the fuck these people are doing, okay? Linda DeCosmo was in the Oval on one night. She was talking about running for re-election. This is going back a couple of years ago when she was the president of the school board, and I guess she was up for re-election. She said, will you support me? And I said, I will support you going to jail. And I kept eating my ravioli at the bar. I'll never forget it. There was about 9 teachers around the bar, and they were just in shock. I said, you have never done anything for these students ever in mind, ever, nothing. Just name something other than putting up tracks, fields, stadium, whatever. Other than sports, these kids don't have a fucking pencil thanks to you. I hear teachers that have to buy their own pencils and buy whatever, supplies. I know people that work in all aspects, janitorial, cafeteria, all different aspects. How about the people that run the bus companies that are contracted through? Do you know during COVID, those people got totally fucked? Totally. They got nothing. Teachers never missed a fucking paycheck. Never, not one. People that own companies, businesses that had contracts through the school board never got a dime. Do you know how wrong that is? Do you understand how stupid that is? When you're Jimmy Chapman and you get elected to the school board and they create a position for your son for $98,000 a month later, tell me, Jim, what motivated you to get on the school board? Oh, never mind. It was that, right? Come here. Call me. I'd love to have you on my podcast. I'd love for you to explain to the people of Hazleton why their shit keeps going up every fucking year for school tax. You know why? Because of you. Because of people like you. because you don't do anything for students, nothing. Come here and debate me. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you're working on. Prove me wrong. I dare you. Please, any one of you assholes that are on that board, come and see me. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to have you here. Prove me wrong. Okay? I know there's some other people that are on that board now that are trying. You know, I never, ever thought there's a board member on the Hazleton Area School Board who has TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. And that's Dr. Childs. Never thought I'd be able to align with this guy on anything. Guess what? He's the only guy on that whole board that makes any sense, that has common sense, that knows that there's nobody else on that board doing anything for kids except him. He said the other day, he said, you know, enough with the athletics. When are we going to dump some money into these kids? Okay. I'm going to say something really controversial now. And this will have me that I'll be afraid to go to the grocery store because some idiot is going to, you know, whatever. I'll have to start carrying again. How they could hire someone in that district that doesn't speak Spanish blows my mind. You know what their excuse is? We can't recruit them. Guess what? You're giving people jobs that can't do their job. Doesn't matter what you think. We're in the United States of America now. Those people need to learn to speak English. Okay, I agree. That's how you assimilate. Do they speak English now? No. Are you getting paid to teach them? Yes. Every ass that's in a seat in the school, they get money for based on how many asses are in the seats. I think you should get paid, all the teachers, according to how many you can teach. Because right now, your reading proficiency is 11%. Your reading proficiency is 38%. Your math proficiency is 11%. Let's brag about those numbers. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And you know what the excuse is? We can't teach these kids. Then you shouldn't have a job. Nobody in Hazleton who was paying all this money in these taxes really cares about what you can and can't do if you're hired to do a job. Okay? It would be the same thing if you were hired to drive a taxi, but you don't have a license. Can't do that job. Okay? Take the teachers that have been there and give them 3 years to learn Spanish. 3 years to learn Spanish. They can do that. Or fucking fire them. That's it. You're fired. You can't do this job. You can't drive. You don't have a driver's license. It's real easy. It's real simple. But to hire people today that don't speak Spanish, they are 90%, I believe, 90.4% minority enrollment. Now, are some of those people Vietnamese? 4 of them. I mean, I don't really know that, but I'm just saying 4 of them, okay? Are 6 of them from France? I don't know. But take out, let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say 70% are Latino. You're screwing those kids. You're screwing them out of an education, okay? These are the same people that are they're human beings, just like you're screwing them kids, okay? You're letting them out. What do we have? A 75% graduation rate. You know how fucking sad that is? Ain't no teachers in town touting their successes. I can tell you that. Don't get me wrong. I am not putting down every teacher. I'm just not doing it. I have said this before and I'll say it again. I have relatives who are teachers, were teachers and are teachers, and I absolutely fucking adore them. I love them dearly. Are they part of that problem? I would say no. The people that I know that are relatives, not just because they're relatives of mine, had a calling to be teachers. They went into teaching when they were making 12 grand a year, okay? 35, 40 years ago. And the recent ones, maybe not so much, because teaching's now a thing. You know, you may make more money than a lawyer if you're a teacher, based on the hours that you work a 9-month, 160, what is it, 165 or 170 days. If you calculate that out, and let's not even talk about their pensions, because that's for a whole nother podcast. I could spend the day talking to you about how this is calculated. And we are going to do that today. I understand that it's different now. It's not, they don't have the same deal coming in as they did because they saw just how ridiculous that was. But the people in Hazleton are unaware of how their pensions worked, their retirement. A lot of them are making 105% of their salary. Please tell me another profession where you get 105% of your salary. How it works is you are paid, how this one worked wasn't. I know that it's different now. It was 2.5 times the years that you put in. So, and the max you could put in was 42.5 years. So if you times 42.5 by 2.5, you get 105. Take the last 5 years, I think it was, and your highest paid in the last 5 years you worked. And that's what your retirement is. So if you were making 112,000 when you left, and believe me when I tell you, there's more of them out there than you even want to look at, and times that by 105%. So that's roughly 11,000. What is that? 12,000. Another 6,000. So about $120 a year for the rest of your life. $120,000 if you live to your 95. Guess who fucking paying me? It blows my mind. Blows my mind. 165 days a year. 42.5 years. I know somebody that worked at the Naughty Pines for 52 years. You know what she got when she left? A fucking check from him for $100. Okay? Don't tell me. Just don't even go there. There's nobody that can justify that. I think even they know it was ridiculous. Okay? Especially with these kind of numbers. If we were putting out brain scholars, okay, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here talking about it because I look like an ass. You can't speak Spanish. 8 out of 10 students in your class can't speak English. And you're pulling a check, baby. Pulling that check. My hat's off to you for getting away with it. It's great. I think the time has come to be over with that. I am going to make it my goal, my challenge in life, to educate the folks in my hometown to how they've been being scammed for the last 30 fucking years. Because when I went to school here 50 years ago, 45 years ago, it wasn't that way. It just wasn't that way. You got an education. Some of us slipped by, fucking around. We were smart enough to not even have to go to class and pass that shit with no problems. But our teachers were in it for the right reasons. And they're probably the ones making 105%, by the way, too. I just want to say that because when money's flowing, it's like the city. When money was flowing and everything was good and lots of money coming in and not so much going out, they were willing to give shit like to people. And then when shit got tightened up, now how do we honor those commitments? This is where the municipalities, the school districts, the state budgets, this is where they're coming into problems because they made all those commitments. You know why there's only the turnstiles on the turnpike don't have people in them? Because they're still paying the fucking people that were in them. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. I love Easy Pass. You don't have to stop. You don't have to slow down. You just keep going. It's a beautiful thing. That's not the point. The point is we're still paying those people. I'd be all about it if they had regular pensions. If they paid in, this is what your money made. This is what you're going to get. It's not that way. We are having to, that our retirement program for the teachers of Hazleton has been bankrupt for 20 years. There's no money there. Taxpayers are just paying that money. And that's not because there's too many teachers and it dried up. It's because the teachers that are getting it are getting as much as they're getting. That's all it is. The average teaching salary in Hazleton is $77,900, so $78,000. I don't know how that equates in the rest of the country or in the rest of the state, even for that matter, even the rest of the school districts right around us. 80 grand to me sounds like a pretty good salary for this area. Maybe not in the past couple of years after COVID when everything went crazy with rents and mortgages and, went crazy. But for 165 days a year, not bad. If the average person takes 2 days off during a week, so what is that? 100 days. So you're at 265. Give them another 2-week vacation. They're still down there with the 3 months off in the summer is a pretty good gig. Because you can make money in those 3 months. I know lots of people that went and they worked at, I'm not going to mention any names, Jack Hollis, but worked as a car salesman at the Oldsmobile dealership, and who was over here and did this in the summertime, and who, listen, that's great. I'm a working fucking maniac myself, so I get it. But I think it's a little bit, the point is not how much they're making. The point is that they can't teach the people that they're teaching. They can't drive the car because they don't have a license. Our cost of living here is still lower than most places. Okay. If you go to Philly and you're making 80 grand a year, you can't, you're in poverty. 80 grand here, especially with 2 spouses working or, whatever. It's not bad. It's just not bad. I know somebody that just got hired on. I think she got hired on at 42,000. Is that great? No, it's not. But she's right out of school. She's 22 years old, and that shit grows like crazy. I think they're getting 5% for the next, in this new contract, 5% increase for the next 3 years. So in 3 years, she'll get 5%. So 2, another 3, another 4, 7. She'll be at 50,000 in 3 years. And it just keeps growing from there. The Hazleton Area School District is spending $12,098 per student, I think, this year. That's pre-K through 12th grade. The student ratio is 19-1. I've had people complain about that. I think that's a great number. I think that's maybe lower than it was when I was in school. I remember we had 22, 25 kids per class. The difference now is they have a teacher. They have an ESL person. They have an aide. They have they have somebody that, I guess wipes their, I don't know what they do, but it's not just a teacher anymore and a teacher, an assistant principal, and a principal. It's not that anymore. They have created all these jobs for people. And most of it is about this school board giving their fucking relatives jobs. Okay. Yeah, my kid didn't go to college, but we're going to hire him for $72,000. His position is going to be, he's going to go in and wipe the chalkboards clean at the end of the fucking day. All right. I'm done. I have made enough enemies for this podcast, for one podcast, I believe. The ranking, I was looking at the rankings too for the school district, and it's pretty bad. Like 658 out of 877 schools, 1,205th out of 1,607, I believe that's high school. The middle school is 650. I'm not sure of those numbers because I did this 6 months ago when I was going to do it the first time. I want to talk about my restaurant. Fugetaboutit too in Humboldt. We have closed the restaurant on 19th Street. We had a tremendous business there. I mean, we did really well there. The problem was I was going to die from working. I reached my limit. I overdid my limit. When I opened this one, we have 60 seats in Humboldt. So you can come out here. There's a beautiful dining room that I am very, very proud of. The price for the food is ridiculous. 2 people can come here for dinner and spend $25, $30 max and have a really nice meal and not leave here hungry by any stretch. It's right in Humboldt. Again, we have a bad reputation in Humboldt for the traffic. Is there a lot of traffic? I guess there is because of all the industrial parks and blah, blah, blah. But, you're on Route 924, which is considered to be a highway, which means people aren't moving 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. They're just not. But it's really not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I think there are probably more accidents in Hazleton than there are on 924. I've heard it be called death row and all kinds of crazy things. It's just not true. Today, right now, we have changed our hours from 10 a.m. in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. I hope to keep it that way, but we're going to see how it works through the winter. If it's not feasible for us to stay that late or for dinner, then we will adjust. We change 4 or 5 items every single week. If you want to know what they are, go on our Facebook page. It's Fugetaboutit 2, and it's spelled Fugetaboutit with a number 2, no space, and that's on Facebook. And you can like us on Facebook, and you'll get our specials, and you'll see our food, and you get to see everything before you come out. We have a web page that you can do online ordering. You can order it, pay for it, and come and just pick it up. And that's at fugetaboutit.net. The restaurant on 19th Street, I leased it out to some Latino folks, Lisbeth and her daughter Catherine, and they are doing a bang-up job. They feed me almost every day. I go there and check in on things at the notary, and they feed me all the time. And everything I've had is delicious. Great empanadas. They have a shrimp empanada that's unbelievable. But they have really good food. So I encourage you to try that if you're into that kind of food. Even if you're not, I encourage you to try it because I was not so much into that until now. Now they can feed me every day. Love it. Like I said, don't forget about our notary, ADL tag and notary. In spite of everything that you hear, we are up. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to do more things than we've ever done. We are now doing apportion tags for big rigs going across the country and out of the state of Pennsylvania. We haven't done that before. And Hazleton has a real need for that because there was only 1 or 2 people that did it. And I think one of them's out. And the other one, you have to make an appointment a month in advance. And then a friend of mine also does do it. But so if you need that kind of a thing, we are there for that. Any title transfers, any just notary services of any kind. We have mobile notaries that go out on the street and come to you in hospitals, jails, nursing homes. So we'll come to you. And if you need that service, if you want the phone number, it's 570-709-8247. And that's ADL Tag and Notary on 19th Street between Alter and Vine in Hazleton. I think that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up. I think I've had a lot to say. My throat is I'm getting dry because I've been doing a lot of talking. And I have really enjoyed it today. I welcome anyone who would like to come on the show to give me a call. I will be having people from time to time. We're going to try to do at least 3 of these a month. So please subscribe. And at least you'll be alerted when we do put one out. And I know I've said it before that we were going to do it and we were going to be consistent with it. But life, you run into life. And that's all that I can say happened with that. So I encourage you to call us if you'd like to be on the show. If you want to dispute anything that I have said, please do that. If I see you out and about, don't confront me about it because I will just tell you off. This is the way I feel about it. If you want to defend your position, come here and defend it in front of the camera. I would love that. Any one of you on the school board or anywhere. I have friends that are on the school board. And I doubt that they'll be my friends after what I said today. And that's fine because I'm sorry. Come on the show. Tell me your position. And maybe we can change that. I am thrilled to have been here. Thank you so much. I got a little long today, but I had a lot on my mind. So have a great day. And thank you for watching. And like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It makes all the difference in the world. And we will see you very soon. Ciao.